What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk and Xbox Podcast, episode number 75. I'm your host, Kevin, aka the Muffin Mon, and today I'm joined by the human alpaca himself, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm great. Your video was frozen. I didn't see
So
you
not only
speaking.
was I frozen, my web browser, because I literally just turned my computer on. So I have a really old computer right now, and it is just chugging along, and I'm doing the best I can, guys. But I'm here. I'm alive. I wasn't here last week. We like the guy under me. We haven't seen him in over a month, probably.
Yeah, I'm back.
Love you, anyways.
Yeah.
No, let me get to your intro, all right? Just don't know you're here yet. The AA man himself, the voice from the void, Garrett, has returned from the dead. Garrett, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm finally actually connected in a substantial way again. That was a painful month.
Yeah. You've been having some technical issues, some life stuff going on, but
just decided to crack and actually get a laptop now, so it should be easier.
I'm proud of you. Maybe we'll get that face reveal any day now.
Oh, we got a ways to go. I'm a man of my word.
What was it?
I'll hold out to, what was it, 1,000 or 1,500? I thought it was. I don't know. I don't like those
something
goals.
like that.
I'm gonna say 1,000. So, guys, if you aren't subscribed yet, head on over to YouTube, and if you want to see Garrett's face, drop us a subscription. But if you like the podcast, remember we're live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time right here on YouTube. You can catch us live. If you can't catch us live, sorry, we post every Friday morning on podcast services around the globe at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And while you're over there, please drop us a review, whether that's on Apple or Spotify. Because I know for a fact, all right, I want to bring this up. I know for a fact more than 22 of you listen on Apple, all right? I got the numbers, but we only got 22 ratings over on Apple Podcasts, all right? Yeah, you're slacking. You're listening, you're hearing me ask you, and then you're not scrolling down the page. Do that. And if you need a little more incentive, all right, I'm announcing today, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel or leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, tweet me a picture, either one or both, and you'll be entered for a chance to win 1 month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. I have a code for you. Just tweet me. I will enter you. And when that giveaway ends, I will give it to you. But you got to do one of those two things or both. If you do both, double the chance. So now you got an incentive. If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple, we'll also read it and give you a shout out. If you want to interact with us more, join our Discord. The link is in the description down below. And if you want early access to all our content, head on over to patreon.com/projectxtalk. For $1 a month, you get all our content early, plus a Patreon shout out. So shout out to Bucky Blue and Hopple for supporting us. We appreciate you. But guys, now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, it's time to start the podcast as we do every week. I go around the room and ask one simple question. That question is, what you playing? So Garrett, you haven't been here for a while, so I want to start with you. What have you been playing?
I've actually went back and I'm helping my friend. He's doing a Let's Play a Grounded Stealthcraft. Shout out to him. We're doing so I'm the behind the scenes guy while he does the quest and sets up the fort. I'm the one who magically puts it all together while he's gone. Yeah, so that's been fun. And I've been playing a bit more Elden Ring and Dying Light 2.
Okay.
But Dying Light 2, I don't know. I'm just going to wait for them to do some more patches on it. Like, it plays beautifully, but when that game glitches, it's still at the top of the scale. It's definitely earned that spot.
It still a buggy mess, huh?
Still, well, yeah, when people come into the game, like, just it either goes 100% smoothly or crashes are just catastrophic. Like swapping inventory items and stuff. Like, that's happened again on my second character.
So you were telling me to buy this game, by the way.
It was really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, 1 and 2 player, if you play with one other person, plays beautifully. But if like a random buddy joins in and you can't lock it out because it's like 4 player, it's like some weird 50-50 chance right now. And like they got to do some weird stabilization on that. Like me and Ethan, we'll play and it's awesome, but then we got like our buddy Fish will come in. Sometimes it goes great. Sometimes it'll just crash and then you could go smoothly. Or like we said that one time, it was like all three of us completely swapped games. So like, yeah, it was weird, but still like fun to play. Hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's buggy.
What are your thoughts on Elden Ring? Because I don't think you've been on the show since it
I
came
haven't
out.
been on, like, I really like it. I'm still a maidenless sod. It's a lot of fun, the exploring to it. I haven't really done FromSoft games, but like a lot of people that complain about, oh, it's too hard or oh, it's too difficult, there is farming spots. There is niche things. Like I play with a big varied group of people. Lots of people are new to FromSoft games that I've been playing with. And like not too many of us have been having that hard of a time. Like you just sort of know what to expect, right? So I don't really get what's going on in like the whole hype thing going on with like it's appalling that I think that people whine so much that the developer.
Oh, you got cut off.
Oh, did I get cut off?
Yeah.
Where
you
did
said
I?
something about the developers?
And now we're getting an echo through. You're having some issues now.
Yeah. Is that any better?
Let me. Yeah, sounds better. Sounds
Okay.
better. Technical issues, everyone. Sorry, but Elden Ring. So basically, you're calling people scrubs, and that it's easier than what the community tells me.
Well, no, it's just that like there's a niche that you can go through with it. Like as long as you don't think of it as like a simple RPG game, like it's a FromSoft thing. It's a different take on the RPG genre. You can have a lot of fun with it, right? And there's a huge satisfaction when you finally beat that boss. Or you could just fast track it and have a buddy like Tom that's addicted to rune arcs, and he could carry you through those moments. Either or. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you're liking it. We'll talk about Elden Ring a little later. Tom, what have you been playing?
Literally just Elden Ring. So if we're talk about it later, I can wait. I'll hold my thoughts. I finished the game. Gonna work on a review for our channel here, and hopefully get that up as soon as I can.
Nice. I'm looking forward to hearing more in-depth thoughts about Elden Ring, as if I haven't heard about it every waking moment since it's released, because it's all the internet wants to talk about. And I even know some of the inside jokes, like how people leave those little pieces of papers as like you got no right or whatever. Have you seen this? Have you seen the people trying to make a song? No,
I've never seen that.
Oh, I heard other podcasts talking about it, and I wanted to know if you had seen it. Yeah, so they'll leave like the messages, and it's just saying like you got no right, and it's like they're trying to make a song, and I don't know what the song's about. My other favorite thing is when you have notes and it says no item here, turn back, and then you just keep going and you find more trails. It's like no item, so it's like, oh, that's definitely an item, and then you get to the end and there's no item. I love watching those like fails on YouTube. It's hilarious. That actually is like a charming part of the game. I'm like, that would be
for the most part, I play that game offline mode, so I don't see any of that stuff. And the reason is like people like to put those words in front of really inconvenient spots like a door or a lever or a ladder, and then it clicks on it by accident, and then I might die in that quick second that it took. So
you know what else I love is when it's like they put a note and it's like secret passage here, and then you like slash.
You don't know how many walls I hit. So many walls. Secret. You're lying to me. Stop lying to me, community. I hate you guys. And then I do thumbs it down afterwards to make sure it's gone eventually.
Or the few secret walls that I found, you look around and there's no notes anywhere.
Yeah, so
it's
you
like
guys
some
don't mention
big
this one, but you
anonymous
mention the fake
secret,
ones.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen the ones where they're like treasure down below or like something to make you jump off a cliff and fall to your death?
Of course.
So good. Man, oh, that stuff brings me so much joy. Yeah,
and that doesn't make you want to play the game?
I see, like as much joy as I think that would bring me, I think the actual playing of the game wouldn't bring me much joy.
We have a good group to play with. Like we are pretty varied.
It's just how many people can you do co-op with at a time?
Just 3.
You could, yeah. So you could bring 2 people in, but co-op works weird. So like, I don't know. You could explain it better. You're the FromSoft guy.
Yeah, I heard last week you got to get a finger and do a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot of weird things you got to do with fingers.
Yep. Of course there is. Well, we can talk about Elden Ring more later when we get to our news story. Have you played anything else, Tom?
No, actually, yes, that's a lie. I did pick something else up. I bought WWE 2K22. I was a big wrestling game fan, and after the last one, I saw that it got like some terrible reviews. I just avoided that game like the plague.
Yeah.
Because apparently it was like a buggy mess, and they took a year break with this one. So far, I'm enjoying the gameplay. The graphics is really nice. It's definitely not something that I would play. I'm gonna play like every day, every week. It's a party game for me. Like if I have friends come over, we might play some wrestling. That's about it. But it looks really beautiful. So there's that.
It does look really good. I've seen some gameplay of it. It looks the character models look fantastic in that game. So I used to play those games all the time, like Raw versus SmackDown, like 2008 was a game
Those were the
I
best.
played so much. I used to love being the general manager and then just like making matches. And it's like
this one added that mode back after like apparently like over a 10-year hiatus.
Oh
yeah, and I put some time into that too. But it's weird in this one. It gives you a year for like to be a general manager, and you can't actually do it. Like it's either world heavyweight title and women's title. There's no tag team title. There's no mid card title like the US title or intercontinental.
Yeah,
and it only gives you 3 matches to do per week unless it's a pay-per-view. So it's a weird. I'm not sure what they did with this one compared to the last ones. Like those used to be like amazing, and this one's like really, really stripped back.
That doesn't sound like what I'm looking for. I want to plan out. I want to plan out an entire card for Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown and pay-per-view events and like have all the titles defend like different stipulations. I was killing my wrestlers back in the day. All right. Like everyone was competing in like TLC matches.
Hell in the Cells every day.
Yeah. We were ECW through and through for sure. But that's awesome. That's not a game I'm gonna go pay full price for, but I think like if it comes to Game Pass at any point, I'll download that. And have
that $70 hurt. It hurt.
Yeah. Oh, it's 70. It's not even 60.
$70.
Oh, yeah, definitely not paying $70 for a WWE game. But a game I want to talk about, guys, is a game I did a review for. So I got a review code for Phantom Breaker Omnia from Rocket Panda Games. Last Friday, they sent the code, and the review embargo was up on Monday. So our review is live on the channel. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. But this is a 2D anime fighting game, and I spent the weekend with it, and I've spent a lot more time with it this week after the review because I really like this game. I think this is a great fighting game. It's a lot of fun. If you like, it is very anime-esque, so if you're not a big into anime, then this probably isn't for you, especially because, all right, as you play matches, okay, you unlock gallery photos. And let me tell you, some of the photos in this gallery are fan servicey as hell, man. Like, they're just like, what if we took all the clothes off our characters and put them in like little tiny suits? But if you can look past that, then it's fine. Like the fighting mechanics are solid. It's really good. But you can check out my full review for my thoughts on that. And I'm only worried though because I don't think it's selling very well. If you look at Steam, I think the peak was like 75 players, so it's pretty DOA, I think.
What?
Yeah.
70, like less than 100?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it was like 100 and something was like all time or yeah. So it's not selling particularly well.
Yeah, but I think like a lot of the big issue of that is like fighting game fans, like I feel like they regulated to like one console and just chose like PlayStation. Exactly.
For sure.
And that's where like the majority of it is. I feel like Steam isn't a good representation, but also this is like a real more niche title. It's not like the King of Fighters, Street Fighter, or what's the other one you played recently that's also like a 2D anime game?
Guilty Gear.
Yeah. So I never heard of this one before. So it could grow. if people see the reviews, it can grow. It can grow a base.
Listen, all I know is I've convinced 2 people based on my review to go buy the game. So you're welcome, Rocket Panda Games. And thank you for the review code because I do generally love this game. But another issue I think is that it doesn't have crossplay and it's on everything. So like Xbox is pretty like it's gonna be the nichest console for sure. Like it's on Switch and PlayStation. Those are probably gonna have the biggest player bases. But I like that game. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm 7 achievements away from the 100%, so might might knock that one out. But a game I want to talk about is Guardians of the Galaxy. And I have my Game Pass and review going up next week for this. I finished that. Overall, I'm just going to give my big level thoughts. Overall, I think it's a good game. But I think that this was massively overhyped. Amon putting it for Game of the Year. I don't know what he's on about. There is no world in which this game is Game of the Year or should be for anyone. The combat is 360 level at best, like mediocre. The voice acting, story, fantastic, absolutely phenomenal. There's way too many cutscenes. This game has what I like to call Sony DNA, where it's a lot of cinematics, and most of the gameplay is walking, listening to your characters talk, and then the amount of times you have to squeeze through a tiny little corridor and move incredibly slow is ridiculous. This game has serious pacing issues. Like, I want to get to the fun stuff. Me walking around is not fun. Like, it was so frustrating at some points.
You don't love that in Sony games? You walk around, they talk to each other for a little bit, give you some story context, and then maybe 10 minutes later you'll have some fun.
No. I like Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper and God of War when I can do things all the time. Infamous. I don't like Uncharted and The Last of Us. But my other issue is that this game, from a technical standpoint, is not great. It first of all, like, performance is 1080 60, which is fine. I can deal with that. But the amount of frame pacing issues is ridiculous. Like, there will be cutscenes where it'll just like freeze at certain points. There's a bunch of stuttering that happens all the time, and character models will constantly put their weapons through them. So Drax has his 2 blades, right? He stands, he crosses his arms, and the blades just go through his character model out his back. So it looks like he has little wings. And I'm like, how did this get like? He folds his arms with his blades in his hand, and then the blades stick through his character model and come out the backside of him. And Gamora's sword, she'll like sit down and it'll just be through her legs. It's just lacking polish.
That's just sad programming at that point.
I know. I'm like, how
not,
did this get
not
through?
on your main characters. Like, I could see that with an NPC if it like walks in a weird path or whatever, but not like your main dudes.
No, yeah. It's I think Rocket's the only one, but he doesn't have like a gun. Oh, and Groot, obviously. So like Gamora and Drax. Star-Lord, I didn't notice anything funky with him, but the amount of terrain I got stuck on constantly. Like, you have the team attacks. So you like hit Y and B together and you can do team combos. Occasionally you'll come out of the team combos and Star-Lord will just be stuck in the ground and you'll be like running along. I died multiple times because I couldn't move. And I was like, I guess I just have to die.
So was there only 2 modes for this game, like quality and performance? I thought there was a third.
There's ray tracing too. There's a ray tracing mode as well.
What's the difference between the 2? Like quality and ray tracing?
I don't know. I only played in performance, so I can't.
See, I wouldn't be able to because it's 1080p. I feel like it's just so low. So when I played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I was playing initially it was the 1X enhanced version, which is at like 1080p, like hovering a little bit higher than that, but it was so blurry and not sharp, and I just couldn't play it. I feel like I need sharpness. I feel like 1440p is like the sweet spot for me for 60 FPS, and I would love. That's weird. 1080. That's a big drop.
I will play everything in 60. I don't care about the resolution nearly as much. 1080 is completely fine for me. I think 1080 looks great. Upscaled to 4K is fine, but 1440p definitely is my preferred if I have a choice. Like Mass Effect, love that they gave the option for 1440p. Like that was great. And then I started playing Killer Instinct because I'm in a fighting game mood.
But why?
One of my buddies in Discord, we're gonna play. So I was like, all right, but I'll download this and like figure it out. I only played a few matches. I don't know how to guard. I thought it would just be like every other fighting game where you hold back. Apparently it's not, because I just get hit every time, and it doesn't feel that great. So like, I don't know how much I'll actually play Killer Instinct. I thought it would be better from the amount people talk about it. And let me tell you, UI overload in that game. Have you log into this game, you are met with like 1,000 pop-ups. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what you're telling me right now. Slow down. So not great there. But that's all I've been playing this week. Guardians is good overall. Those are my thoughts. My review will be coming out for more in-depth presentation, but next, my week's kind of empty until Kirby and Ghostwire come out on Friday. People were like, you should play Tunic. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to play Tunic, but I wish Ethan was here because I think he jumped into Tunic. You guys haven't tried it out, have you?
Looks like Legend of Zelda old school.
Yeah,
zero interest.
Ooh.
Not I, Popeye.
No, all right, okay. Well, we'll have to wait for Ethan to get some thoughts on Tunic then if he keeps playing it. But guys, it's time for a segue. So have a seat while I grab some books from the library and tell you this week's stories. Story number 1. This comes from Andy Robinson at Video Game Chronicles, and we have an update about the initiative, but it's not great news. He states, quote, Xbox's The Initiative Studio has seen a fast and furious wave of senior departures in the past 12 months. As much as half of the core development team known to be working on the upcoming Perfect Dark reboot quit the company during the last year, which, if you're wondering, that's around 34 people. Notable departures include the game director Dan Nurburg, design director Drew Murray, lead level designer Chris O'Neill, principal world builder Jolyn Myers, 2 senior systems designers, a group of 3 former God of War designers, and more. Despite the turnover, only 3 job listings are currently up, and they've only hired around a dozen people in the last year. Quote, the timing of the departures coincides with September 2021's announcement that Crystal Dynamics has been signed to co-develop Perfect Dark. This combined with a few job roles currently advertised at the initiative suggests the developers likely taking a much stronger lead than first thought. Interviews with multiple former senior developers cited a lack of creative autonomy and the slow development progress as the reason for their departures. The former initiative developers described the studio's development hierarchy as very top-down, with Gallagher and Nurburger keeping a strong grasp on creative decisions, saying that they want to make games the way they always had, with a top-down direction, while the employees wanted a bottom-up approach, which it's claimed that development has progressed painfully slow and a solid company culture has not formed. Despite this, the initiative's management told Video Game Chronicles it's confident in the team it has in place and the new talent joining. Daryl Gallagher also said, we wish all our former colleagues the very best, and I'm confident in the team we have in place, the new talent joining, and I can't wait to share more with the fans. Video Game Chronicles sources say they wouldn't be surprised if the game has been completely rebooted and that Microsoft's leadership is prepared to be patient with their first-party teams. So that was a lot to take in, guys. I'm throwing it over to you, Tom, first. What are you thinking? Should we be worried about Perfect Dark and the initiative based on this report?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, this game was announced, what was it last year? Perfect Dark, right? More or less. So it's still like in really early production regardless. Like I get they might not have a solid foundation of what they want this game to be just yet. And I think that's why initially they brought Crystal Dynamics to help like formalize and like, get that clearer structure. What I don't understand is like it seems like the company culture, they wanted some sort of like an indie culture in a way where everyone has creative input. But in reality, that would increase development time even more because now everyone's just going to keep throwing in a bunch of different ideas and nothing's going to ever get done. But it seems like it has been getting done to begin with based on the reports. I think they do need to realign the company, it seems like, and hopefully get a better grounded structure so they can get development rolling. But honestly, in terms of Perfect Dark, I wouldn't be surprised if the initiative takes a full sidestep and not even get involved, and they just hand full development over to Crystal Dynamics, who can actually. I think they don't need the initiative for this game to work. Crystal Dynamics is there. It really depends on how much free time Crystal Dynamics has.
Well, it's interesting because I think we're kind of seeing, we thought Crystal Dynamics was going to be the support studio for the initiative. Based on this report, it almost seems like Crystal Dynamics is making the game and the initiative is going to be the support studio lending to help them out. Maybe the initiative gave, hey guys, this is the game we want to make. Can you make it for us and we'll help where we can? That's kind of the feeling I'm getting from this.
Exactly. I get that sentiment as well. And Crystal Dynamics, they have experience with these kind of games. I mean, they worked on the Tomb Raider franchise, which if they just copied like that same structure, it would work perfectly in a perfect Dark, as long as they add some of the elements that are needed to make that game work. So in terms of development time, it could be increased so much more if Crystal Dynamics just had way more power towards the game.
Garrett, what are your thoughts? You think Crystal Dynamics should take the lead on this one, and what do you think about the troubling news report?
It's a bit of a double-edged sword, like he was saying. I think it's like, on one hand, it's great that they're at least getting focused in on we're not an indie studio with 30 different voices and 30 different people to try to appease all at the same time. You couldn't really get much done on that side. But on the other hand of that, it's a little disappointing because when they sort of got that creative team together, we were all sort of talking back in the day of, let's see what they could push out, right? It sort of feels a little off that they're sort of deferring to Crystal Dynamics. It's like, what if we picked all of the best games and developers from all across the studios and made them in, then cut half of them and signed a deal with Ubisoft? Would we not have a fear of it having some Ubisoft features? Right? No. Like, it's just, I was sort of excited for them to stand up on their own feet. Sort of takes a little bit of the piss out of it when they're on their first project and they're like, oh, whoa, bro, we're having some culture issues. Let's go back to the major head's company that he worked with before to help us out. Like, that's sort of, you should take a brave step, not run back to your comfort zone.
I think I think what worries me is, like, first of all, if Perfect Dark needs more time, that's completely fine. Like, we don't know when it's coming. Earliest rumors, I think, said 2024. If it needs longer than that, that's fine. Like, we've gone 10 plus years without a Perfect Dark game. I think we'll be okay without a Perfect Dark game. But what worries me is that they brought in a bunch of PlayStation and industry talent, people that worked on things like God of War, Insomniac, like worked at Insomniac, and for the majority of them, they left. Like, they've lost a lot of the good talent that they brought in.
That's what I was saying, right? Like, if you took the best and cut half of them away and just signed on to the old thing, it just sort of doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth.
Right? Yeah, so, like, the people that maybe they're fine with just being told like what game to make. You're lagging, Kevin. I hear static is what Mayday Bomber's saying. Interesting.
I don't hear it from our end, so maybe streaming issues, possibly.
I don't know. Tom, take over for me. Give more thoughts. I'm gonna do a test.
Okay. Dang it! He put pressure on me, guys. All right, Perfect Dark. So what I would think is, in terms of like the company structure and the independent side of it that they wanted to form, I fully understand like why they wanted that, but at the same time, I feel like that approach would have been much better if they were building a brand new game from scratch instead of, pulling out like an old franchise. I feel like at that point, if people were more pulling in ideas of what they wanted a new game to be, instead of, being just handed, this is Perfect Dark, this is what you guys are gonna make. There's a lack of creativity that's gonna happen at that point, regardless. And I feel like getting your developers in on the early stages where you're building the IP from scratch, building the world from scratch, they would be more invested at that point moving forward. What do you think, Garrett?
Yeah, you said it pretty well. I don't know. I just hope that they pull off the laptop gun. Amazing.
The laptop gun? Is that what you just said?
I don't remember the laptop gun. You could like throw it at the wall and it makes a little sentry tower.
So Perfect Dark was never a game I played all that much, to be honest with you.
God. Yeah, no, it had a lot of fun guns. It was like the first game where guns had a crazy alternative fire mode. You could have like a rocket launcher, or you could switch it to its alternative mode, and it's a guided missile thing. And this was all back in like the Goldeneye days, so it was pretty revolutionary for its time. Or like its assault rifle. If you're running down the hallway in like a defensive tactic, you could throw it against the walls like a temporary tower. It was pretty good.
Okay. Yeah. So as I was saying before we got a lag spike or whatever, I'm fine if them needing more time for the game. I don't think that's an issue. I'm just more concerned about the talent leaving the studio because they have lost some big names that I think no matter how you cut it, you're losing talent that would significantly impact your game. But I can understand wanting a workplace culture where you feel your voice is heard and that you're impacting the product. I'm assuming a lot of these big names in the industry didn't like the top-down approach because, they're used to working at places where like maybe they had more power and that they could impact the game more than what they could here. However, Crystal Dynamics has been brought in. They have a good track record of making everything but Avengers. So I'm not overall worried about the game. It's still years away, which is fine. So I don't know. I think anyone that's like Xbox can't manage studios is blowing this way out of proportion because I've seen that a lot this week.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't heard anything negative on like the other sides, like in the other studios. I mean, 343 had some departures recently, I guess, but most of the other studios we haven't heard anything like that. So I wouldn't say that either.
Yeah, no. So like, I think I was going through it in my mind where, besides the Initiative, the only other studios where we know there have been like reported issues were 343, which, we there's things going on there, but they've kind of steadied the ship. And then the Everwild team at Rare, which isn't all of Rare. It's just that team that was having issues.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a departure issue. It was like, we don't know what the game is yet, guys.
It's just like an intro. So it's not, in my eyes, I don't see how you can possibly say Xbox has a management issue with their studios, because I saw people going around being like, oh, they're going to add Activision Blizzard and like the studios are going to close and like they just don't know how to manage the studios they have. Why do they keep buying more? And it's like 2.5 out of the 20 whatever studios Xbox currently has have some issue. Like that isn't a bad ratio. It's a pretty good ratio. And the issues aren't even that bad, especially right now. From a game developer standpoint, the pandemic has made game devs so much more valuable. Everything I've heard from people in the industry say that like companies are paying twice the amount that they would normally to lure you away from the company you currently work at. Like they're throwing money at developers.
Yeah, I guess in that fact, like they have to, it makes sense then. I mean, every studio can have issues. Like if the developers are really that valuable right now, they're going to be more willing to leave if things don't go their specific way. And I guess that's what's happening in the Initiative side.
You were saying, Garrett?
No, that's what I was. He basically took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say there was probably some little contract time that went up because a lot of these people were hired at the same time, and it sort of sounds like they're quitting at more or less the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be like hey, come on, try it on out. We'll give you double your year's salary if you come on for 2 years, right? And then if you got that much top talent, like you guys were saying, a lot of the people might not like going from, let's say, the biggest creative lead to supervisor or whatever, right? Because they did acquire so much talent. Like, I worked in a few kitchens over my days. You can't have a few experienced cooks beside each other without them trying to establish a pecking order. I could only imagine what it would be like in that situation, right? So like, it's not too unexpected.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I think perhaps they thought they'd be further along in development as well. Like the contract lengths could have been like, okay, we expect to have the game released in 2023, so we don't really need you guys any more than 2022. But then we know the initiative has had issue getting up and running, and then they brought in Crystal Dynamics, so it could very well be like people are just leaving to leave, and it doesn't really signal much about the studio. But Video Game Chronicles did have a few employees speak to them that they weren't particularly happy with the culture there. Not like toxic or anything, just like how they're making games. But ultimately, like, we don't really know what's going on at the initiative and with Perfect Dark. We can only wait and see, and hopefully they'll show some more when they're ready. I'm not expecting it at E3. I know we talked about last week, I think, that but neither of you were on last week. So, but me, Ethan, and King David talked about last week. Perfect Dark was supposed to be shown at the E3 conference, apparently, according to Jeff Grubb. I doubt we see that now, and I think he actually went back on that statement. So,
I mean, if they showed it, it'll be just another cinematic trailer. We ain't gonna see no games.
yeah, we're not gonna say. Yeah, I doubt we see gameplay from Perfect Dark for sure. Anything else on the initiative in Perfect Dark before we move on, guys?
I'm good.
All
yeah,
right.
I'm good.
I'm excited to talk about this next one because we got new Starfield details. In another developer diary, Todd Howard and the team over at Bethesda Game Studios has shared additional information regarding the upcoming Xbox exclusive Starfield. In the video, the group states, quote, "One of the big choices is which part of the game world am I going to engage in? We always make a bunch of different groups that represent some of the major factions in every game. And in this one, we've got the United Colonies that represent the future of the Space Republic. You have the Freestar Collective, which is the space Western fantasy. We've got Ryujin Industries, which represents corporate life. And then we also have the Crimson Fleet, which is a faction of space pirates you can join if you want to be a bad guy, but you can also join them as an undercover cop if you want to be good and report back to your superiors. They stress that the persuasion system in this game is inspired by Morrowind and that it tries to have more gray areas. So there's not a good or bad response. It's more of a gray. You really have to convince people. And that there's an emphasis on companions and your relationship with them. So I'm gonna start off because I'm super excited. I think these details are awesome. This is exactly what I want to hear from a Bethesda game. I want an RPG-ass RPG, okay? And I know we don't swear, but this is what I want. It's been too long from Bethesda since we got a real hardcore RPG, and this is sounding more and more like that to me. The fact that we're going to have different starting locations and that your stats are going to be affected in some way, they said, about, you know, how you make your character and what factions you choose. Like, are you going to go corporate life and kind of prove that you can handle the space world, or are you going to join the pirates and, you know, be a bad guy and raid other people's ships and do all this stuff? So I'm super excited. I love the fact that they're giving you multiple branching pathways from the start of the game. I think that'll add replayability, but also the fact that they're emphasizing your relationship with companions. Because for me, companions kind of make or break RPGs sometimes. Like, if you think about great RPGs like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, they have fantastic companions in those games. I want fleshed out companions in Starfield. That is one of my big asks, and I think that'll only go to help the game. So I'm super excited. Garrett, you unmuted. You want to talk about Starfield?
Okay. I'll skip the stuff that you went just so that I'm not taking absolutely everything from Tom. But I got like a good and bad point. What side do you guys want me to go from first?
Hit me with the bad news, buddy.
All right. I think it's a little disappointing that they only got 4 major factions. Like listed off, what was it like? Crimson Fleet first?
Crimson Fleet is the pirates.
Crimson
So,
Fleet. All right, let's draw a line over to the institution. Next, you got that main group. You could
the
rebrand
United
them
Colonies.
Minutemen. Next,
Uh,
like, do you see where I'm going with this?
no, because I don't know what you're naming.
Those are the 4 main Fallout 4 factions.
I don't like Fallout.
Yeah, it seems like the only real main difference, like, don't get me wrong, it's an apocalyptic universe, but like the institution is crazy space scientists that believe in replacing everyone with robots, and the space pirates. That seems like the biggest drastic change from like the factions, from what I've seen from like the little blurb. They even got like the corporate, technically advanced guys like the Brotherhood of Steel. Right? So I was hoping for some more interaction on that. But on the other side, I heard in like that little Wonder video that your companions could actually die, so that you could live like a Star Trek RPG with having a red shirt go out in front of you with every mission. I think is just great. Nobody watched Star Trek Red Shirt?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
God.
Nerd.
Yeah.
It's not even that bad.
But you just said that bad, so you're saying it's bad, but it's not that
bad. Yeah. Well, it's just like one of those Star Trek. They always have like, whenever you go on a planet, you'll notice that the guy who dies always has a red shirt. So they just started calling them a red shirt.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's for you Star Trek fans out there.
Yeah, all 2 of you. Nerd. No.
But and I'm excited for like each planet they were saying is going to be like, they were roughly saying it was the size of Skyrim. I believe that was in the video. I could be wrong.
I don't remember that in the video. It might have been a different one. Might have been a different video.
I saw like a little interview thing when they were saying that like a few of the locations is roughly the size of Skyrim, but they didn't say onto the depth. So that's sort of a gray area. Because like it would be realistic to go to a new planet and be running for miles before you see anything interesting, but it would be lame for the gamer.
I'm surprised that you're disappointed in the factions. I think the faction sounds sweet, especially
it's not that it sounds bad, it just doesn't sound that new.
It's 4 big factions, and we know for a fact like every individual planet is probably gonna have like a lot of smaller minor factions. So it's gonna be a lot.
Micro factions in Fallout. Like that's like, I don't know.
Fallout really didn't have micro factions. It was like
planet would have like 2 or 3 big things, and then like at the end there's a culmination, like a real step up is what I was hoping for, right? But it just sounds like it's gonna be another thing with some crazy story arcs, some huge plot twists. It's gonna be fun. But I don't know. I was just hoping that there was going to be more world-changing events. Like it might sound bad, but the world-changing events for each of the planets in Assassins or in Mass Effect Andromeda was actually really good, right? Like each time you went back there and helped out a faction, it made significant improvements.
But we don't know. Like we don't know what impacts it's going to take for each individual faction.
I hope.
Yeah, like my hope is that you join your starting faction and then your playthrough is significantly different every single time. Like what you can do, how you can impact every planet.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No. I hope they do.
I think you could probably do like an impact on a planet, but the factions, I think it's going to be more Skyrim based, where you could go around and do like, there's going to be the main overarching story. But like each of these guys, it's going to be like their version of the Mages Guild, where the Corpos could have a huge quest line, but it's not a part of the overarching thing. Because I think like you could start at different locations, but I think, aren't we like that dude that's a part of the Exploring Foundation?
Yeah, but I think
a year ago was saying that's sort of like your thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're clearly part of some space exploration, but my hope is that, and I know like that you pick your starting faction, and then it limits you to what you can do. Like maybe certain planets are hostile to you in this playthrough compared to other ones. Like if you're a pirate, planets shouldn't welcome you with open arms. Like you should have resistance, in my opinion. Like the United Colonies faction should like attack you because they know you're a pirate or something along those lines, where every playthrough has significant choice and consequence. Like that is what I need from an RPG for me to get like truly invested.
Yeah, I'm with Kevin here, and I don't agree with him a lot.
All right. I just don't think it's how it's going to play out. I think you're going to start with like, as some scientists, their version of like a Vault Boy, and you're going to be able to choose which area or which planet area you sort of get dumped off at, but you start as your scientist explorer and you sort of choose your arc, right? Like it's not going to be you start as a little kid on a space pirate ship like a Corpo start or a Street Kid start in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but those cyberpunk choices are meaningless. Like those are actually useless.
But they have 3 different intros. That's what I was saying. Like
they have 3 different intros, but they don't change anything.
It does it doesn't change too much, but it gives you more access to information that could help you like quickly do a mission later. I noticed that, and that's helpful. Street Kid's where it's at.
But like ultimately the story plays out the same no matter what path you choose, right? In Cyberpunk. Yeah. So that is what I don't want. That is what I do not want from Starfield.
Yeah, replayability is going to be the thing that you want the most. Like Skyrim, I went through it multiple times. Fallout 4,
yeah,
probably played that
like
once.
What choices were you locked out of in Skyrim, right? Like you did
have the Civil War. The Civil War, I had to choose the other side because it was either I want to be the racist or like the not racists.
Yeah, that was a weird thing. They really pushed for one side on that one.
Look, I chose the Nords first. Just saying. Get off our land. Plus, I was a Nord. So I'm like, get out of here, you lizards.
Get out of here, roundies.
No, it's just, I don't know. I hope you guys are right. I just think it's going to be like Skyrim-y in the part that like there's only going to be 1 or 2 choices that you're locked out of, right? I think there's going to be like the good or bad ending, or not like good or bad, but because they said morally gray. But I don't think it's going to be world resounding. I could live my space pirate RPG fantasy.
I guess we'll see. I mean,
we'll see.
Sounds like more Fallout to me, regardless, though.
Yeah.
In space.
So is that enough for you to want the game, though? Like,
I'm playing it.
It's enough for me to try the game, but Fallout's still not my favorite franchise compared to Elder Scrolls. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play it. Also, space is one of my least favorite like gameplay areas. So.
Oh, I disagree strongly.
Yeah, no, I hate space. Mass Effect is the only game. Mass Effect's the only game.
Planets or like
I just don't like space exploration. I feel like sci-fi is not my favorite like genre.
No, so I agree with that. Sci-fi is not super cool to me. I do love a good space exploration story though, like Mass Effect. Like
I'm sure it's gonna be good because it's a Bethesda game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hesitant. My expectations are it's going to be a good game, but it's not too high up there.
Well, we'll see. Mayday Bomber in the chat says, explain the context, Kevin. And I assume he's talking about when I said, get out of here, roundies, which is a joke from a Bo Burnham special where he reads a poem about square people fighting round people. And the square people says, get out of here, roundies. So I was making a joke. I'm not racist. All right. I don't know what that would be racist to, but you asked me to explain the context. There's the context.
So roundies.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Everywhere are offended now.
What does that mean?
Minecraft community. Why do you keep attacking people?
Oh man. Okay.
Oh no, he's defending him at that point because they're all blocks.
Yeah. So I got a tier list video coming out ranking most iconic Xbox characters next week. You want to talk about attacking the Minecraft kids, all right? Watch that video. We'll see.
What Mayday Bomber said there, fantasy plus space is cool. Sci-fi plus space is eh. I agree with that. Like I like for like Phantasy Star Online was like the space fantasy style.
Yep.
And I like that. It's just like straight sci-fi is where it kind of is like, we'll
They're
see.
gonna need some space magic in this game.
Like Star Wars. That's a
Star
space
Wars
fantasy,
and Mass
right?
Effect with the biotic stuff. I loved it. Space magic done.
I don't know.
Biotic was totally space magic. You had control over gravity. How is that not space magic?
So is Star Wars space magic?
Star Wars, I would put that as space Buddhism.
Yeah,
I would put that directly as space magic. Well, with the Force lightning, it could be space magic. Yeah,
They can manipulate your mind. There's definitely some sort of magic going on there.
Apparently, you've never been to a bar on a Friday night, but
You guys, oh my god! All right, okay. Midichlorians, Mayday Bomber says. We don't talk about midichlorians. They got retconned, I think. Maybe. I'm not really sure. But let's move on to story number 3, guys. And this is a follow-up to a story we discussed a few weeks ago. Goldeneye's software trademark has been renewed. This comes from Jordan Midler over at Video Game Chronicles. Quote, a trademark that allows the term Goldeneye to be used for downloadable electronic game software has been granted a second extension. This comes amidst rumors that a remaster of the original N64 game is coming. This is going to be a pretty quick story, I think. My only input is give us the remaster now.
Yeah, wasn't there a trophy list a while ago? Like, where is this game?
Right?
I don't know. We talked about this weeks ago, literally weeks ago. It looked like it was imminent then. The trophy, the achievement list went live. It was on trueachievements.com, which is a pretty good sign that games are like imminent. And now this, it has to be coming. Like, I expect any day now to wake up and be like, we dropped it on the store.
No, I see. I think if they dropped it, it'd be like an E3 drop, trailer same day.
Surprise by the time the show's done. You guys can install it.
You guys can play it now.
We dropped it, and we bought IO, who's making the next James Bond game. That one's for Amon. Shout out. I know you love IO Interactive and the Hitman series, Amon. That's sarcasm. He hates it. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Just give us the game already. Story number 4, guys. Game Pass update number 2 for March. So as we do twice a month here, we let you know what games are coming to Xbox Game Pass so you can plan your gaming accordingly. And I'm also going to do a little bit of an ID at Xbox Showcase roundup in this, just because they did announce some new games that dropped onto Game Pass. So out now, Tunic. Tunic got shadow dropped yesterday. Paradise Killer was also shadow dropped yesterday. Out today is also Shredders for cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. The Dungeon of Nalblek, the Amulet of Chaos.
That's probably right.
Yeah. I'm sure I nailed that. Is also out today. March 22nd, we get the Tainted Grail Conquest for console. Zero Escape, the Nonary games for cloud, console, and PC. March 24th, we get Norco for PC Game Pass. And we get F1 2021 for console. March 29th, we get Crusader Kings 3 for Xbox Series X and S. And March 31st, we get Weird West for console, cloud, and PC. We also got the announcement that Kepler Interactive and A44, their newly announced project Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, will be coming directly to Xbox Game Pass when it launches later this year. The open world action RPG will combine guns and magic combat. And to be honest, the trailer looked pretty sweet. I'm not familiar with their first game. Tom, I think you might. Are you familiar with their first game? Because you were the one that informed me about this.
Dude, I just saw the trailer. It looks neat.
And you looked out.
Yeah. It reminded me, what's that one fantasy RPG game that came out recently? It had guns in it too. It was on Game Pass for a while.
World? No.
Not New World. It was a third person. It sort of played like Dragon Age a little bit. You guess what I'm talking about?
No,
I know you played it too, Kevin. I just forgot the name. Yeah.
Is that about Kingdoms of Amalur?
No, it wasn't Kingdom of Amalur.
Fable.
I don't know, but
what have I
it has like that
played?
same. It had like that same like old school colonialism RPG with like beasts.
You're not talking about Plague Tale, right?
No, not Plague Tale either.
Oh my
Don't
God.
even worry. Like if you guys know it, just comment it. Don't worry.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, any of those games piquing your fancy?
Crusader Kings and dang, a snowboarding game. I was gonna say Steep, but it's not the game.
Shredders.
Yeah, Shredders.
Shredders. How about you, Garrett?
Crusader Kings for sure. And Flint. What were we talking about? Flintlock? I remembered that game was really cool, but what was it pertaining to? Is it coming out on Game Pass?
It's coming to Game Pass day one when it launches this year.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think it's like September or October, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think it got a release date, but it was leaked that it's September. I think.
Okay, that's what it was.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll be playing that when it comes out. But right now, just Crusader Kings.
Crusader Kings it scored very high. Crusader Kings 3 did. So that is only for next gen consoles. If you have an Xbox One, you can't play that via Game Pass. So,
any idea if it has mouse and key support?
I would imagine it does. It came out on PC first. Like it'd be weird not to implement that, right?
Hopefully, because that's the way I would want to play it.
All I know is that they had T-Pain doing the trailers during the indie showcase yesterday. And it was weird as hell, man. That indie showcase was bad. Like if you haven't watched it, don't waste your time. I watched all 2 hours or whatever, and I was like, you've not shown me any games that I care about here. Like the last one, at least there are a few games that I thought looked good, but yesterday was bad.
Like that's where it was one of those showcases where like Death's Door was shown, right? Or was that like this one was just a bad showcase then.
Yeah, no, I agree. This one was a bad showcase. We got Tunic, which we already had seen plenty of times and didn't need to see again. Shredders, we'd seen plenty of times. They played the same trailer for Flintlock that literally we saw the day before. And I was like, what was the point in dropping this trailer 24 hours ago? Like, it would have been cool to reveal this here. Like, that would have made it, like, a little more exciting. But overall, it's just an awful, awful showcase. Poorly pacing. And, like, 12 of the games are coming to Game Pass. So I was like, cool, if you liked the indie games that you saw, like, they'll be coming to Game Pass. But I didn't do anything for me, to be honest with you. Shout out Luke Lore. What up? Xbox expansion pass in the house. Good to see you, man. We're talking about the Xbox indie showcase. I didn't care for it. Yeah, I thought it was poorly paced again. At least they had less personalities this time, which I did appreciate. It was about half as long as the last one, and they really only had like Andrea Renee and then what was the other guy's name? Okay something. Okay something. Yeah. I don't know. I think there were very few games there that actually looked good. And that most of them are already out today. But this second half of Game Pass drop isn't really for me. I'm not a RTS guy. I'm not a snowboarding guy, so I don't really care about shredders. Tunic, maybe I'll try. I don't know if I want to. Like, the art style doesn't really appeal to me. I did like Death's Door, which is getting compared to a lot, but I don't know. Something about it isn't really clicking with me. And my brother tried it and he didn't like it. So there's that.
There you go. So that means you're not gonna like it either.
Well, that's not fact. He plays Genshin Impact every day, and I don't like that game. So,
all right.
Story number 5, guys. Elden Ring has sold 12 million copies in 2 weeks.
Well deserved.
Announced by Bandai Namco and From Software as of March 14th, which is little over 2 weeks since release. Elden Ring has confirmed 12 million copies sold worldwide. In comparison, Sekiro sold 2 million copies in 10 days. Bloodborne sold 1 million in 2 weeks upon release, and the previous fastest selling title was Dark Souls 3 with 3 million copies in 1 month. This is crazy. These numbers are crazy.
I'm not even surprised by it at all. Like just looking at the Twitch numbers, the YouTube numbers, social media, this game is literally everywhere. And it's just gonna keep selling way more. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they hit 15 mil by the end of this month as well.
Garrett, you wanna chime in here?
I was amazed with the numbers, don't get me wrong, but I'm also not gonna lie. And my first thought was, man, we're a bunch of gluttons of punishment.
Oh,
Like
I thought I thought you were about to repeat the Halo fiasco, and you were gonna be like, I thought it would be more.
no. I just saw that and was like, man, there's a lot of people who just like to get their ass kicked for fun.
Yeah, but do they though? Like, how many of them do you actually think are sticking around? Like, I beat this game and I enjoyed the hell out of it, but
I don't know.
Towards the end, once you start getting those once I started getting like halfway through the game, all the boss achievements I was getting, they were like those rare achievements, the diamond achievements. I was like, a lot of people aren't getting this far. What's going on?
I don't know. Like, I just opened up my Xbox thing. Like, I got my Xbox open in the background, and I still have 6 friends in there. None of them are even like the usuals that me and you've been playing with. So like the numbers are saying strong with it. Like, let's go down and like my next most popular one is GTA 5. Really?
I mean, it just came up with the next gen update.
So yeah, I guess.
Getting some...
Yeah, it's got those. Yeah, but even that is not doing as well as Elden Ring. But that's not to be expected. Or that's not really surprising.
But man, this game deserves everything. Like I have 85 hours in this game, and I can say that this is hands down the best From Software game I've played out of all time. The next closest second will probably be like Bloodborne. This game was amazing, and I can't wait for like more content. Like I'm still going through finishing like a couple side bosses I have left, but man, once the DLCs start dropping for this game, I'm gonna be all in as well. I can't wait.
Luke has 100 hours in it, so you're a casual.
Oh, but did you beat it, Luke? Also, I want to point out that like half of my hours is all strictly co-op helping my buddy go through his game, which benefited me not at all.
So, did you actually explore the entire map?
Yes, dude. Everything's explored. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like if I look at the map, there's only one cave that I have not been to yet. But besides that, I've seen everything. There might have been some bosses I couldn't kill yet, but I do leave markers on the map, so I know like, all right, I'm gonna go back there
how
later.
How do you know that you saw everything? Is there like an achievement for it? Like I've been
no. Like
cave?
so you know how you unlock the maps itself, right? So you can see like when there's a cave on the map if you look into it, even though you haven't been there for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even close, he says, by the way. Luke Lore. All right, just if you need a friend to help you, like,
he's got listen, okay, he's got Ains, all right, for Seasoned Gaming, got like 300 hours in it. So he's got plenty of help.
But it's Ains me.
Ains
I will PvP Ains. I'm calling you out right now personally.
I'm gonna
throw my red finger on the floor for you, Ains, challenging you to a 1v1 match.
I would love to watch this.
Tweet him.
It's like I even made like little comments that I was like, man, it's almost like watching a Dark Souls version of Kevin with freaking Smash Bros. Because like I just sort of brought him into the boss, and I just sort of worry about staying alive, not worry about killing him. Just let Tom do the rest. It was almost poetic. But I would love to see that.
Yeah, if you. One sec, I'll tell him. Please, Luke. Please tell him Alpaca Tom from Project XTalk calling him out, wants to PvP him in Elden Ring.
Right.
You better record if this somehow goes down. You better record this because I want to see.
And then you got to screen cap it with the Shayla Booth. Just do it.
Mm-hmm. You guys thought Jake Paul's big boxing matches were going to draw on the numbers? Just wait for Alpaca Tom versus Ains.
Porsche Power versus Alpaca Tom. Make it happen. Yo, that would be dope. I would that'd be hilarious. I haven't played it yet, and you guys kind of I kind of get scared hearing that Luke's played 100 hours and isn't even close to beating it. Like I don't know if I want to spend that long in a game. It's a long time.
It's a slow burn, but a really good one. Like for me, I played every Souls game, so it's like it was pretty easy to get into. And the open world structure is what really changed this game for me, and that really added a whole new layer. But this game is actually like I feel like this is the best starting point for any like person who has never played a Souls game. This is definitely the one to start in. The co-op is much better than in past games. They also have systems in the game. Even if you don't like play co-op, you can summon like a bunch of random like NPCs that you get in the game later on. Not even like actual NPCs. Is like you can summon like a jellyfish or a pack of wolves. The old games never had that, and these things actually help you progress through the game and helping you progress through the boss fights. So this is definitely the best starting point. I highly recommend this game for anyone who has yet to get it. This 12 million copies sold for a reason, guys.
Yeah, because a bunch of people got FOMO, and then I bet you look at the achievements, it's like 3% of players have beat this one boss. Like, I guarantee you people were like, can I return this? And then they go and they're like, no, we have piracy laws here. You can't return open video games. Sorry. But maybe one day I'll play it, guys. But that's all the news we have for this week. We do actually have a viewer question, guys. So this comes from Hopple, and he asks, what are your favorite Ubisoft games? And then he says, if Ubisoft Plus comes to Xbox, mine are Assassin's Creed Valhalla and the Ezio collection. I'm gonna take this first. Ubisoft is an abomination of a publisher. All right, their last good game was 2013. They haven't been good in a decade. All their games are microtransact. I'm going hard at them. I don't like their open world structure. If I'm being honest, the last game I liked from them was Immortals. I think I actually played that because we had Luke on the show and he liked it. So I liked Immortals. That was decent. Rainbow Six Siege about 6 years ago. So Cheveruni in the chat.
It's still relevant.
I did play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege actually. So that is, I totally forgot that was a Ubisoft game. So that one is a good shout. I mean, overall, Splinter Cell is my favorite. Like the Splinter Cell Chaos Theory in particular is my favorite Ubisoft game ever. If I had to pick a more recent one, it would probably be Rainbow Six and then Immortals Phoenix Rising.
So when we say like favorite Ubisoft game, like are we just talking all time? Right? That's what I'm gonna do.
You want to take it?
All right. So Ezio collection. Assassin's Creed collection for Ezio, easily that's my favorite character from Assassin's Creed in total. South Park, Stick of Truth, amazing RPG. Love the hell out of that game. You even forget it was an Ubisoft published game, but that game brings everything that South Park has and makes it into a great game. I love the hell out of that game. And For Honor. I really played a lot of For Honor back then, and I thought the combat in it was fun. And every different character felt differently, and it was a really overall solid fighting game. Later on in the game, they started monetizing the hell out of it, and then that's when I fell off. But that's just an Ubisoft thing: monetize, and watch your fans go away.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Garrett? You're muted. He's dead.
Sorry, I just went on a full tangent. No, I was just kidding. No, I'd have to say like Black Flag and Stick of Truth, like he said. But like overall, they just sort of got very stale in their recipe over the last few years. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's their open world structure that's the issue,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, they gotta rehash that. But it's like, what do you do to make it not Ubisofty? Because what other game doesn't have a tower that you climb to look up? But it's just there's something about a Ubisoft game that it's like Assassin's Creed could just be third-person Far Cry some days. It feels like, and vice versa. Like it's tragic.
I mean, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of. I mean,
yeah.
guns.
Yeah,
with guns. Literally, though.
Yeah.
You know what they need? Rayman. Rayman is Ubisoft's savior. All right, because Rayman Legends is dope. That was a good game. That was also 2013. But they got listen, okay, Rabbids. Hear me out.
Right.
Tom, you like some Rabbids? You want some?
I mean, it has Mario in it.
Rabbits? It
No,
sounds
I'm
like
not-
you're offering me something. You want some rabbits, bro?
Oh my god. Okay. We're gonna end the show there, guys. If you like the show, please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, if you subscribe to the channel or rate us on Apple Podcasts, tweet it at us at Project XTalk, be entered to win a 1 month Xbox Game Pass Ultimate code. So you can do that. We already have some entries, so get them in while you can. But until next time, where can they find you, Tom?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Alpaca Tom, and probably on Elden Ring all the time on Xbox at Way Too Greasy.
Garrett, where can they find you?
You can find me on Xbox and Twitter at Wayworn G.
And you can find me at the Muffin Man with the 1 7 I and an O instead of an A. Follow us at Project XTalk.
Whoa.
Hold
on. Show was wrapping up.
Ains has entered the chat.
So Ains, I'm personally challenging you to a PvP match in Elden Ring. Meet me at the Great Erd Tree in the capital city. 8 p.m. Saturday. You and me, 1-on-1.
Maybe you should talk about a time. I don't know if you could just dictate a time.
It was very.
But no, seriously, it would be fun. I've heard you have like over 500 hours, and see who's the better player, you or me.
Ains, please come destroy my panel member. I want to see this so bad. Saturday 8, aren't you young? There has to be something better to do. No, he's got nothing better to do. He's married, that's his life.
He's right.
I would love this. You guys should definitely hash out some details for a combat in Elden Ring, because make it happen.
Twitter handle right here.
Oh my god, burn, says Cheveroni. I don't usually PvP, but I'll kill you if you want.
Okay. All right.
This is a great ending to the podcast, guys. All right. Tom, you sort that out with Ains offline, because we got to wrap this show up and record it so we can put it on our channel, because I want to see him kill you real bad. But until next time, guys, we'll see you. Goodbye.